unmute yourself.
Yeah, that's an important part of this in this world, isn't it? Unmute yourself. Quinton, congratulations. Most points that you have scored, I think, since you joined the team, and really started to look like you were comfortable out there in the second half. Did the game kind of start coming to you a little bit the longer you were out there tonight?
I think that it really helped that I was out there for a little longer than a few minutes to kind of get in my own groove. And I think in the second half, like it started, I think I started with playing defense in the first half. I think I had a block shots and some rebounds. And then in the second half, it clicked also a little more offensively, where I was able to knock a shot down. And I just felt good on the floor. Like the pressure was kind of off. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, I told people you're from the Netherlands and you're used to playing a style of basketball where everybody spreads the floor, and even though you're 7 feet tall, you cut and move. You're not under there banging around all the time. I want to ask you about a play between you and Tolu. Beautiful give and go in the second half. How much do you guys work on things like that in practice, and how much does that suit your style of play?
I think if you look at our roster right now, we have a lot of big guys who can really like play inside, and I have the size to play inside, but I do like to mix it up, and I think that it's good for our team to have somebody who can space the floor and also create more space for those guys like Tolu and Abdul and JD maybe to score inside. And coach, and I've been shooting it well in practice, and I feel good shooting the ball today. Maybe I was a little anxious on some of them in the first half, but coach gives me the confidence to take those shots, and so that's kind of how I adapt my play, but I try to be inside outside kind of.
Quinton, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Neil.
All right, we'll go ahead and get it to Garrick. Garrick, why don't you go ahead? And then again, if there's any other questions for QP, let's get them up in the queue. Thank you.
Quinton, what have you really learned about playing down low in the post, learning from guys from Abdul after watching him do it last year and leading practice this year?
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing coming from last year into this year was the physicality. I gained a lot of weight since I first got here. And it's also like a mindset, really. So practicing against Abdul every practice, and especially against Abdul, really helped me over that edge of really trying to be physical down low. So I've learned a lot from him, just looking how he does things, and then also just working in the weight room, and it adds up basically, and then it comes together. And I try to be as physical as possible down low.
We'll go ahead and get it to Joel. Joel, go ahead.
When we were talking with DJ a minute ago, and Neil asked him about being one of the leaders of the team kind of deal, even though he's only a redshirt sophomore. But I guess how much do you guys look to DJ and rely on him, whether it's in practice, whether it's in a game? Just what's kind of the mentality, and do you guys turn to him a good bit?
Yeah, definitely. He of course was a starter for us last year. I think him and Abdul really are our leaders in that kind of way. They're the guys who've been in the program the most. So when it comes to a huddle, or when the team is falling down, or when something is not going right, they're usually the ones who pick it up. So I mean, I've been here for a year, but I didn't really play that much last year. So I'm also learning still a lot. We definitely look up to DJ and Abdul to take that leadership role.
We'll go ahead and get it to Tyler.
Quinton, you nearly played as many minutes tonight as you did all year last year, and you mentioned the weight room and learning a lot from Abdul and Reggie and some of those guys. But what is one thing that you'd say you did over the off season that really helped you improve and kind of has earned you this time that you're getting on the floor this year?
Well, of course, it was kind of a crazy off season, especially for me, because I wasn't here in the States. I was back home in the Netherlands with my family because of the COVID, obviously. So of course I tried to get in the gym as much as possible, which was really hard at first. So I played outside a lot with my dad, and then actually the last part of my time back home, I was practicing with my national team, with the men's a national team, so that really helped me. And the biggest thing for me, knowing that I had to bring, was the physicality for this year to be able to play. So the biggest thing for me was to keep my body strong and eat a lot to be ready for this season.
I guess kind of going off that, a follow-up, at the beginning of the pandemic, when you first got home, how worried were you that you weren't going to be able to kind of sharpen your game? I mean, playing on a court outside with your dad is one thing, but playing, college basketball is another. So just kind of what was your mindset during that time?
It was a crazy time. I knew that I wanted to come back, but it was a big question if that even was going to be possible. I wanted to be back early June, I would say, to get the summer in with the guys. That turned out to be kind of late July. So my mindset really was just stay ready, because I was talking to the coaches a lot. So I knew that eventually the borders were going to open, but I didn't know when. So the only thing I could really do was stay in shape back home and work, and work on my game and be ready for the moment the borders open again, which eventually happened, and I came back.
Anything else for QP? All right, thank you guys. We'll get out the media session information for later this week. We'll either have